Ticker symbol GTII continuing on that treacherous sideways trading. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the ticker for tomorrow. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with the GTII technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we are looking at GTII on the 6-hour chart here. And as you can see, we are now, the SMA 14 is not the leading indicator, okay? The leading indicator is, in fact, the EMA 3, which is the yellow line, okay? The yellow line does have a small pivot towards the downside, which is already not good, okay? So we don't want that, usually because it's indicating that the signal is not ready for us to make that upside that we're looking for, right? Okay, so what we want to do is to make sure that we can get both of the EMA 3 and the SMA 14 pivoted towards the upside alongside volatility, particularly the momentum, the volatility component, which is the spectrum line, and the moving average white line pivoted towards the upside and beyond the 15% neon green line. Okay, only then will this criteria meet with an 80% accuracy and an upside of about 100% on average. Okay, so now, particularly to this statistical backtest, there is a standard deviation that we're looking at of about 89.56%. Okay, so the lower end of the first standard deviation is actually about 11% to the upside, but the higher end of the first standard deviation is actually leading to about 190.10% to the upside. Okay, so when this criteria meets, which we're going to keep an eye on, right? So we're going to keep an eye on this to see when it can fire. And we'll see, right? But there are signals that we could be looking at some type of reversal in the imminent future, and let's go ahead and go over those as we move on, right? But I really am landing a little more in the excited side of things because it is kind of a large move, right? So in this case, you can see that the 5-day volatility versus momentum profile. Yes, of course, we still have a little bit of a downside suggestion. In fact, the 5-day is actually starting to pivot just a little bit with that little corner right there, right? It's starting to show that there could be some type of correction soon. It's already way oversold as well, okay? So I like to see way oversold when we're sitting just sub $1, okay? Which means that there couldn't be too much of downside to look at, right? So what I want you to know is that anything is possible in the markets. Even though I say something, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. First of all, this is one of the most challenging tickers to ever take a look at, right? This is literally what I consider training under mud, under the rain. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and continue on to that signal that I'm talking about, because there is that potential correction coming up. Notice how price action isn't on this crazy, very, very significant downside. Notice how it's starting to kind of curve, right? Look at this, okay? I want to show it to you in kind of like this manner, right? So please notice how that price action is starting to show a little bit of that curvature, right? So let me just make this a little bit brighter so that everyone's kind of in that same page. Yeah, so it looks like we're making some type of curvature like this, right? I'm not saying that this is it. We're going to move on to the upside, but I just want you to notice how that's kind of happening, right? It's not like capitulating like this or like this. Right, so that capitulation already happened right here. Okay, so that signal that I'm speaking of is this. Check this out. We've been keeping an eye on this, right? We said that we were going to draw these lines here and see how we're going to get that cross from the stochastic moving averages on the 3-day time frame, which is, by the way, the time frame that suggests that 978% move to the upside. Okay, so this paired with volatility can lead to a very nice move. Okay, so now look at how the price action is starting to look. Okay, look, we started drawing it over here, actually. We drew it from when the stochastics were here. This was on May 22nd. Okay, and now we're not on May 22nd, okay? So now look at where it started, and look at how the price action is following it, right? It's following it very, very accurately, okay? So this is in fact what we wanted. All right, you guys. So it's looking good. The good thing is now we're starting to get more of a sideways trading, that there could potentially have been a floor found I'm talking about in the larger time frames, right? The shorter time frames are going to have like this ebb and flow, like up and down and up and down and up and down, and a bunch of scares and a bunch of scares. But the longer that we stay within this range here, the better it is, because now we're actually confirming or validating an inflection point. Okay, so this would be our critical support area. All right, so now from here, we can actually make a pretty nice move to the upside if it is so that volatility versus momentum suggested. We're getting increased volatility now that we're finding that downside. I love it. It's good. Okay, you guys. So just keep an eye on this and we'll see what's up. But remember that I am a short-term trader. I am not a long-term trader. I am holding a very small position of GTII for that potential moonshot, but it's just sitting there. Okay, you guys. It's just for the movement, right? So let's go ahead and refer to the RSI in the last part of the analysis here. And please take a look at the immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute. It is actually finding a very, very consistent resistance from this SMA 14 represented by the pink line. The RSI signal has a downside pivot, and it is starting to pressure the SMA 14 towards the downside as well. Very likely for us to have a little bit of a downside in the immediate short-term time frame. The bi-hourly time frame is also suggesting that downside, but please notice that the pivot is not as strong as this pivot here. And as we start going up the other time frames, notice how the 6-hour is starting to kind of correct. It's in the gravitational zone, meaning that it could succeed the upside of the SMA 14, but find resistance from the previous areas, gravitational zone as well, suggesting some more sideways trading. Okay, you guys, same situation here on the 12-hour time frame. Look at the moving average. It's literally not moving. It's sideways, right? So this is really indicative of sideways trading, and the shorter time frames with the upsides and downsides are literally telling us that that we're going to be trading sideways and within a very tight range. Okay, you guys. So I apologize for not for coming in a little late. It's just I've had some technical issues over here that I hope to have already found some resolution to, right, you guys? So I just want you to know, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever, okay, you guys? I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well. I wish you a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team.